This might sound a little dramatic, but we actually stopped using our microwave. And honestly, I don't even miss it as much as I thought I would. Now, before you panic, this is not about perfection, fear, or judging anyone who uses one. I just wanted to share why we made this change, what we use instead, and how we make it work realistically in our family. Hi, I'm Amanda, the Non-Tox Mama, and here I focus on practical, non-toxic living with less overwhelm and more intention. So first, why did we stop using a microwave? For me personally, it started with learning more about heating food in plastic containers and how the heat actually increases plastic leaching into our food. And honestly, I realized how often convenience and speed were leading me toward more processed foods and quick packaged meals. I also noticed that food just tastes better if you heat it slower and take more time with it. Things reheated in the toaster oven or on the stove usually have a better texture and flavor. And over time, I started wanting our kitchen to feel a little slower, simpler, and more intentional. But I also want to say clearly, this was a personal choice for our family. If you use a microwave, that's okay. This is just what ended up working well for us. And trust me, it was a bit of a fight in the beginning with my husband. Our toaster oven is probably the biggest reason the transition was so easy. We use it for reheating leftovers, cooking things up from scratch. I use it for making my muffins in here. I use it for cooking sausages. Pretty much everything that I make on a daily basis, I use this toaster oven. It's quicker to heat up, which is great. And it's completely stainless steel inside, so no worry of any toxins or anything. And it usually cooks faster. For soups or sauces, I typically reheat on the stove. I eat a lot of soup and I find reheating it on the stove tastes a lot better and warms thoroughly versus using the microwave. And once you get into the habit, it's really not that difficult. I also use a glass kettle constantly. It's great for quickly boiling water for tea, oatmeal, soups, or anything else where you just need hot water fast. I also heat this up in the morning, fill our thermoses in the morning with hot water to warm them up before I put our food in for school's lunches for all the family. And switching to a glass kettle was a great small swap that made me feel good because kettles heat hot water at really high temperatures, so you don't really want to be using plastic kettles. Another favorite tool that I've gotten in the kitchen that I love using for reheating purposes is the Our Place Dream Cooker. This is like an Instant Pot type thing. It's a ceramic bowl, nonstick ceramic. It's a proprietary blend that doesn't have any toxic chemicals in it. And I just added a tray in here that I got off of Amazon, a stainless steel one. And then I have water at the bottom, and I use this for reheating a lot of things. So any food that I'm sending for schools, usually in the morning, meatballs, sausages, egg bites, turkey strips, anything like that, I will throw in here in some glass containers. I'll throw in glass containers like this, and then I just bring it up and pressure cook it for about 4 minutes, and then it's at a perfect temperature and pop it in the thermoses. Or if I'm making dinner, I set that up, prepare other things for dinner, and then I can just pull that out and it's nice and hot to eat and doesn't take too much longer than anything else. I think the biggest thing that made this realistic was changing some of our habits around food prep. We started storing leftovers in glass containers, planning meals a little more intentionally, and thawing things earlier when possible. And honestly, it made our kitchen feel calmer overall. I found myself relying less on ultra-convenient packaged foods and cooking more intentionally instead. And I especially focus on pre-making a whole bunch of stuff on the weekend, so then I don't have to stress as much during the week. I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect, just trying to be more intentional. No, I don't think everybody needs to throw out their microwave tomorrow. As you can see, I still have my microwave. If you're in a busy season of life and that's what helps feed your family right now, that's okay. But if reducing plastic exposure, slowing down your kitchen habits a little, and cooking more intentionally is something you're interested in, this might be a really helpful swap to experiment with, maybe a few days a week. go from there. On the weekend, when it's easier, you have more time, things like that. At the end of the day, non-toxic living is really about making small intentional changes over time, not about fear or perfection. And honestly, this is one of those changes that ended up feeling way easier than I expected. I'd love to know in the comments, could you live without a microwave, or is this one swap you're definitely not ready for? Let me know.